and start streaming.
Are we online?
And we are go.
Okay, great. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the South-Afrifur podcast. Today we have a guest. His name is Potoroo. He is the benevolent dictator of Camp Farrell or nearby Toronto. Nearby? Too far away? 200 kilometers away? 200 miles away? No?
I'm about to say, I'm getting an echo, so I'm kind of trying to figure out which person I'm answering.
Just put on the pop-out chat, keep that one closed, or pause it.
That's a good point.
So you can, because I mean, like the thing is that that's actually one of the things. There was actually a test made like that. I think Scratch actually told me about it, if I'm not mistaken. It's a thing that can shut you up. What it does is that it echoes your voice about like half a second after you're saying something.
And that's exactly what just happened to me. I was trying to figure out what's going on. Now it makes a lot more sense. Yes, I am near Toronto now. I actually moved out of Toronto a couple of months ago, but it's like the next city over. Okay.
And at any rate, like I said, he's the chairman or benevolent dictator of Camp Farrell. Most of you know him. We've had him on a couple of times beforehand, but for those of you who don't, Camp Farrell's been running since?
1998.
Cool. And obviously joining us...
You were in Camp Farrell from the beginning, eh?
No, I took over... I ended up on staff about 5 years in. Before that, 2 years before that, I was helping run workshops. But I was at the very, very first one, and I sort of was one of those, those dorky people that get a thank you for the first one because I helped them out, but I wasn't really on staff for about 5 years after.
Okay. Yeah.
But you were still like underage when you went to the first one, right?
I was just there in time. We didn't start the 19 plus thing until about 2007, but I think I was 18 when I went to the first one.
Lucky.
In 1998.
Yeah.
So you are pretty much the definition of a grey muzzle.
No. I think I'm the official definition. I don't think I fit the stereotype very well.
It's just 6 years older than me.
Yeah. But I also know people that are like in their early 20s who refer to themselves as grey muzzles. So
I wouldn't necessarily refer to myself as a grey muzzle.
No, not really.
I mean, what is it? Is it like the people who have been in the fandom for XYZ amount of years, or?
That's where I think it gets confusing, because I think at the beginning it was old furries, so like 40-year-old furries. They got called grey muzzles because they were older, but then I think some people start referring to it as like, if you're in the fandom for like 7 or 8 years, you're suddenly a grey muzzle, even if you're 21.
Because that's what I was thinking. I mean, like the thing is that I mean, Scratch and I have also been in the fandom for a fair amount of time. What is it now? Going on 11 years officially, 13, 14 years otherwise, I think. And the thing is that essentially, like if you go onto the Gmail, there's a Google Plus like group for grey muzzles, and it literally says it's either over 35 or XYZ, and you're gonna sit there going like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, there's no real good definition. The original definition I knew was just older furs, so like they might have just joined the fandom 6 months before, but they were say in their 40s or 50s.
But I mean, like, for me, that definition is incorrect.
You think it's
like
how long you've been in the fandom?
I would say for how long you've been in the fandom, like what you've weathered, what you've seen, I've seen things, I've gone to Nam, that kind of bullshit.
I think, yeah, I guess the difference is whether it's a description of the person or a description of their experiences.
So far, I've only seen it as described as a person's age, actually. It's when you're actually grey, when you have grey hair.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I don't know, like that's the thing. I mean, you can join at the age of 56 and you're immediately called a grey muzzle. I always consider granted, at the age of 56 you do kind of need a little bit of what's the word? I mean, as a 21-year-old, you're not going to tell a 56-year-old man, hey dude, how you doing, man? How you you know, you want to go smoke some pot together and do this and that and the other. You're not going to approach a person who's 56 like that.
Ivic.
Yes.
Here is your answer. Buckley's just posted the Wikifer page. Any person involved in the fandom before 1991.
Yeah, I could get that, yeah.
Okay.
In other words, you will in any ways be old then. Or any fan who is over a certain age, 30, 40, 30? Fuck you guys. 30, 40, 45, or 50. Depending on who you ask.
Exactly. You see, there's a lot of gray area in comparison to
A gray area.
I think it's when you have gray hair.
Yeah, but that can even be kind of confusing because my grandfather was gray in his early 20s.
I'm getting gray in my late 20s.
Yeah. So it's like, there's so many different ways people can define it. And I think part of the thing is, although the internet kind of brought furries together so that furs, especially in the early days, like people in the San Francisco area and people in the Toronto area could communicate more easily, they still had the little regional things that grew up, like sort of regional understandings. And some of them, I think some of the mythology of furry that was on like the mucks and early chat rooms, that kind of thing, became pretty commonly understood to be, oh, this is true. The whole stereotype about foxes or about stuff like that, the word yiff. But there's still all the regional stuff. And I think the regional stuff is where you find this, you know, why would somebody consider a furry over the age of 30 to be old? Is probably because that region has a lot of 15, 16-year-old furries in it.
Yeah.
What do you? I mean, like that's the thing. Like, I mean, sometimes you can consider it like, that's the thing. Like when I see the word grey muzzle, I consider it to be sort of like a term of respect. What do you call like? I mean, a young fur aside from young fur. I mean, like what the hell is that? Like, what do you consider a young fur? Is that a fur that is under the age of 10? Is that a fur that's under the age of 15? And I mean, the thing is,
under the age of 23, I think that is where youth ends.
Oh, 23. That's a
young age for youth to end. Well, essentially, and this is now according to one of my physiology lecturers back when I was still in high school. He said that after the age of 21, your body starts dying. So,
oh god.
Yeah,
when your body starts dying.
Yeah, but there's like a physical prime that you reach when you're 21, and then it starts decaying.
Huh.
Your performance starts.
And then like the older you get, the stronger the old person smell becomes.
Gross.
Cool.
No, you literally like have you ever walked into an old person's house and it has that like specific smell to it?
Yes.
That's literally, you're literally smelling death.
Ugh.
Cool.
Ugh.
Gross.
You're welcome.
So ding ding ding.
After the age of 65, people start smelling like death.
Well, that's
confirmed
good.
fact. Blah. You know, I don't know, like freaking. There's like there's another thing like furries have started like picking up the whole MLG thing now recently as well.
Really?
Like really overusing that completely.
The what?
MLG. Okay.
Major League Gaming. Pew, pew, pew.
For those of you who haven't heard the MLG sounds yet,
dude, you could just Google anything like. Oh fuck.
This one's good. It's 1 minute and 41 seconds. I'm gonna close. Oh god, it starts off like that. That's absolutely right.
Sometimes I wonder what Ivic does when he is actually talking to somebody except the podcast.
Yeah, I know.
I
happens a lot.
So what is
you guys talk?
Major League Gaming, like what is it referring to?
Jesus Christ! Sorry.
What the hell?
I moved across on. I was like looking at the video, and then I moved across to it, and then they played there's a Sonic one there as well, and it comes in round about like a minute 40 somewhere. I mean, like about 30 to 40 seconds in. Holy crap! It's loud on my headphones.
Can I try, Ivic? Can I try to clarify?
Hey, do you want to play it? Do you want to play it over your speakers? Because that'd be awesome. Try it.
No, I'd
If
rather
he
not
plays
blow
the
out.
track, it's actually gonna play on the stream.
Yeah, I'd rather not
That's
blow
exactly
out
what I
everyone
want.
who's listening speakers.
Just down find MLG like sounds and whatnot, and then you can literally like hear all of it, and you'll know that. I mean, it actually to a large extent. I mean, like PewDiePie, I wouldn't necessarily credit him with the entirety of making it XYZ, but the thing is that a lot of games came out with this, and like I said, it's really sort of moved into the furry fandom. I mean, one of the biggest groups on Google Plus at this point, which is like 6,000 members, which is insane.
Oh, somebody just got crunched by something.
Scratch.
No, I
your-
was freaking out at my ISP.
That's the sound of like crumpling paper is.
Yeah. See, I think thing for me is that, like, a lot of this gaming stuff that sort of takes over in a fandom, I kind of miss out on because I really haven't been much of a gamer since probably the late 90s. So
It's not even gaming stuff. It's
lots
literally
of people
just
play games,
anything.
right?
It doesn't matter what the hell it is. It just pops out wherever it comes in.
Yeah, the whole MLG thing basically just came about when like people who think way too much of their COD skills started making these like really obnoxious like show reel videos, and claiming that they're like on the level of Major League Gaming, and it's just become this like breeding ground for fucking ridicule and memes because it's so like blatantly over the top.
So it's like badly edited, over the top videos.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Well, they use those to just show it's kind of like that's how they lampoon it.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
And I mean, like, it has air horn noises and really, really loud, like sonic music, which goes
and
off
a lot
with
of like,
that. Obviously,
a lot of weed references.
there's a hashtag for that. I think it's got to go fast.
You mean the Sonic
So it's
soundtrack?
so it's like watching a very obnoxious video that's gonna annoy the living crap out of you.
So I think I just managed to luck out and miss all of this so far. That's one of the benefits of being like a busy person who's always trying to get a bunch of projects on the go is you'll get to catch the cool stuff because your friends won't let you miss it. They'll be like, you have to see this, it's awesome. But the stuff that's annoying, generally you can kind of miss out on because you're not watching for it.
Yeah.
Something we haven't talked much about recently is actually, obviously, America legalizing gay marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of like awesome things that have come out, or not necessarily awesome, but I mean, I've been sort of glutting myself on the Young Turks for like the past 3 or 4 days. And the one thing that I found out that was very, very recent is the Catholic Church released possibly one of the most interesting videos ever. It starts off like black and white, and these 3 people sit down and ready to talk and things like that, and they start going like, I feel so oppressed because of this and that and the other thing, and I really just can't talk to my friends and like open up to them at all. And then like the next line is like, I believe that marriage should be between a man and a woman.
Yeah.
And you kind of sit there going like, I've lost all sympathy for you whatsoever. And then like there's like freaking tears and whatnot, and you're just sitting there going like, why?
Yeah.
And then the Huffington Post picked up on this, and almost like not even like 4 to 5 hours later, there was a lampoon of the entire same thing, where they're just sitting there going like, I just wish that I could talk about the fact that a woman should be in the kitchen, like, nursing both babies and while making a wonderful dinner for her husband, and that, like, they should make a place called Blackland and whatnot. And you just sit there going like, oh God, wow.
They're getting pretty harsh with the social commentary there.
Yeah, because I mean, essentially that's what it is. It's oppression.
Yeah, well,
But,
it's something like, I think Canada's had gay marriage for 10 years now. So it's another one of those things where, sort of looking down at the US, a lot of the reaction is people saying that society will fall apart. But really, if you're going to look at 2 nations in the world that are pretty similar to each other, and one has been sort of a big experiment because we have socialized healthcare and stuff like that, and now we had gay marriage for 10 years compared to the US, and you see things aren't falling apart Here, you'd think that you can kind of look north and go, hey, they did it and they didn't fall to pieces, so maybe it'll work for us too.
No, the communists haven't struck just yet.
Which, well, actually, the next election, the communists might, because the Socialist Party is currently in the lead to win the next election. So
interesting.
You mean in Canada?
In Canada, well, like they're
Holy
socialist.
crap!
Yeah, they're very like it's. When I say socialist, I mean they believe more in spending money on things for people rather than for businesses, stuff like that. But
Potoroo, how do you feel about My Little Pony?
Interesting question. I grew up on the original.
Gen 1
So-
was
The
better.
one from 1980.
Yeah, the early 80s. I went to see the original movie in theaters and stuff, but I will be 100% honest with you. I have yet to see any of the new show. I haven't watched it yet.
It's far better.
I don't know about that. The first one sold a lot of toys.
Yeah,
As-
this
as
one
did this
sells.
one.
This one sells even more and in a completely different demographic.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just I just haven't had the time. I was recently introduced to Steven Universe, and so I kind of watched through that because they were really short episodes, so it was easy for me to like throw on a couple and watch them. But I just haven't watched any MLP yet.
Huh.
No idea what Steven
You're on
Universe
season
is.
4 now. You got to catch up.
I get the feeling that it is pretty popular in the South Africa furry population, or
Yeah, but
No,
it's
not
popular.
really. Only among one person in this chat, apparently.
No. Well, in this chat or on this call or on this like sort of thing at this. Dude,
What?
like I said, I have 2 My Little Ponies that are like straddling my computer, and it looks so sexy.
Don't
Oh
use
my
that
lord.
word ever again. Ever.
What?
Don't use that word ever again.
yeah, I've
What,
got
My Little Ponies sexy.
Straddling.
straddling.
Oh,
Yeah, I was thinking straddling was pretty harsh too. I've got no negative views towards the community or the show at all because I haven't seen it yet. So, but yeah, I do have some ponies. It's just all the ponies I have are from like the 80s.
Kane just mentioned something that is making me like facepalm really, really badly.
Mhm.
Says that Bad Dragon got into the franchise.
Of course they did.
That's because they're good business people. It's smart.
What, into the My Little Pony franchise?
Yeah, think of all the money you'll make.
Oh, just imagine the amount of colors they'll come up with now.
Dude, they already have like a $2 billion for this shit.
Oh shit, my phone.
Oh, that was pretty.
That was very pretty. And that sound effect brought to you by Samsung?
Yeah.
And that
And the battery's dying.
Is that your cell phone ring?
No, that's my battery dying, and it shut down. That was the sound.
Oh, the shutdown sound. Okay. I guess since you do a podcast, people here generally also listen to other podcasts. Maybe.
Actually, like most of our South African background, which is the ones we have here right now,
Yeah.
as far as I know, pretty much kind of just listen to ours.
Okay, but like,
They
not even-
should correct me if I'm wrong because I'm pretty wrong most of the time.
has anybody heard of a podcast called 99% Invisible?
No.
It's a very, very cool podcast hosted by this guy named Roman Mars. Here, let me pull this up for you. My ringtone is actually his voice.
I watch Uncle Kage's wine stream here and there.
I haven't caught that yet. Is it
HD.
actually entertaining?
He just gets really, really drunk.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's very entertaining.
Yeah.
Why do I need to look at this 9-gag thing? I'm going to swear again when I look at it.
He had 2 on the one day, and Tian Long, I think, was on twice in full suit.
Is it a video stream?
Oh God,
Mhm.
the title of that link. I'm not going to look at it. Scary.
What the?
Oh, you're looking. I can tell.
I'm looking at it now.
I don't know.
This reminds me of the thing that we had on last week, which was something that we're not going to talk about. Oh my God!
What am I missing? I can't
Never
see.
mind. I'm not looking at that thing again. I'm sorry. I'm done. I saw the first
Yeah.
picture and I'm like hips for days.
I agree with Buglish that if you have unlimited mobile data, and that's the same thing here. Canada actually has pretty bad mobile rates compared, like in the world, we're pretty bad off, especially when you look at like the US and England and stuff like that, we're in pretty bad shape. So I download most of my podcasts by Wi-Fi, and I probably have about 75 podcasts I subscribe to. I'm pretty addicted to them. I don't listen to them all, obviously, but they're always there to listen. But yeah, definitely like listen to 99% Invisible. It's pretty cool. It's about like design and architecture, but it's actually really it's pretty fascinating.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Now the title makes sense. I thought it was like some sort of weird comedy thing.
No, it's that in design, 99% of your design will be invisible.
Fair enough. I still have like what's his name? The Design of Everyday Things is still sitting on my bookshelf that I want to read.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you read it before?
No, I'm a big fan of design. I have no skills whatsoever in really understanding it. I can just like if I see something that's well designed, I'm like, that's nice.
Yeah, and yeah. Also, it's also nice to know why.
So you could be like an architectural or engineering enthusiast.
Yeah, and just design in general, web design or like good design of a logo, just every kind of aspect of design I enjoy. I'm just really bad at.
This one time I was on a deviant art meet years ago, and this one dude actually made it perfect clear. Anything that a human being creates is a form of artwork.
Yeah.
And we're doing art right now, is that what you're saying?
Whether it's in design or architecture or making a website, coding a piece of software, especially whatever it is, it's a form of art, and you can always make it that.
All of Kane's links from 9gag 404 for me.
Yeah, the same thing happened. We get a Target thingy blank.
Yeah.
For America.
Oh yeah, they had like whatever Treason Day recently.
Yeah, Treason Day was like yesterday. Ours was 3 days before. Ours is July 1st here.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Canadian
if you copy the link, just copy it from the HTTP point onwards.
Yeah.
Then get rid of the blank part at the back.
Yay. So, how have you guys been doing? What's life been like?
I had a hangover this morning.
I actually woke up super chipper. I was like, got in bed at 4, woke up at 10, and then made breakfast.
Yeah, I was one of those that woke up at like 7, like, oh man, I need water.
Partying too hard?
Yeah.
Yes.
They had a big ferment yesterday.
Yeah, that was my Friday night.
Who passed out in the bar?
No, we closed the bar. Like.
Oh, you closed the bar?
No, we drank until Dabs closed.
That bar owes me £2,000.
Really? Really?
Yes, because I tried to play a song and then they closed before it got into that part of the playlist. Damn it.
Shitty. Yeah. Bad practice.
Yeah, but we didn't know what time it was. Jeez, when we looked, it was 3 o'clock already.
Yeah,
that sounds like most evenings out. Like you sit there going like, you look at your watch and you're like, oh no, it's 9 o'clock. Great, we can like party forever and ever and ever. And the next thing you know, it's 3 o'clock and you're like, oh.
The bartender girl didn't want to help me if I'm wearing my fursuit thing.
Oh really?
Yeah. She only helped me when I took off the head.
We have just started I think about a year ago now a furry night at a bar downtown in Toronto, where like fursuits are encouraged and stuff. So and like not the last time, but the time before, the bartenders actually sort of went out and got cheap ass dollar store ears kind of a thing, so they could join in the fun.
Oh, cool!
It was pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What is your last
not that
call?
progressive.
What's your last call in South Africa?
We have a bell.
1:30. 1:30 to close at 2. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds about the same here.
Okay, it depends on where.
It depends on where you're going. If you're at a club, it's last call is about 3.
Okay.
And they close at 4.
Okay, yeah.
Or if you're in the specific clubs, they close the next day 12 o'clock.
Like the all-nighter kinds.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We have a couple like that, and we have a couple like that. But like last call, I don't think you can serve past 4. And if you get to 4, To serve 2-4, it has to be a special event.
You need a license for that.
Yeah. But there are sort of next day, like after party bars. There's one called the Comfort Zone downtown Toronto that's really scary. And
that sounds like a scary thing.
yeah,
Comfort zone.
it starts at like right after last call. It opens and it runs until like the next afternoon. But they can't serve alcohol until about noon because there's like a gap where you can't. But they have Red Bull everywhere, and there's a back room where if you go to the back room, it's like very ornate and nice. This is from my memory of being there once, I think in 2000. And the back room, it was a very ornate, nice back room with a lot of scary looking individuals and one guy sitting at the far end in like the most expensive clothes. Just, you knew what he was there for. So like I walked in, looked in the room, got scared, and I'm pretty sure I left right about that point. Because I'm like, I see.
I've seen similar things. It's when the people actually ask you, do you see the dying bunnies?
Oh, God.
That get fucking scared.
It's like, is that supposed to be a code that they're using or something? Or
is this guy actually really seeing dying bunnies?
Oh, he might be. Yeah, it depends what he's what he bought from the guy in the back of the room.
Depends on how much LSD he has, apparently.
Yeah.
In the suit.
That reminds me of just the top floor of Amsterdam in Cape Town.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wait, what? There's a place called Amsterdam in Cape Town.
Yeah.
Yes, but it
you
doesn't
do not
have
want to go
anything to do with weed.
What kind of a club is it?
It's an action bar.
Oh, it's not like the Amsterdam's red light district.
No, not quite.
Well, nobody does it for money. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we have a few of those like that, but I guess they're scary depending on your perspective.
Well, it depends on the clientele.
Yeah, like the places I think like that are other than like say bathhouses or something, they're just bars with dark rooms, and most of those places that like if I'd actually go to it just for the bar, they're not very scary people. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it really depends on who you see when you walk through that door.
Kane says something that's absolutely very accurate. Who's your daddy? There was a guy. I walked in there at one point because I didn't actually know what it was. I didn't know what an action bar was at the time, and we were looking for someone. And I walked in, and I was like, "Cool, okay. This person is obviously not in the bottom on the bottom area." And I was like, "Cool, okay. Well, I see stairs going up, so let's see what happens." And I try going up, and somebody like pulls me back. He says, "No, you need a drink to go upstairs." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fair. I understand this." So I go to the bar and I buy a drink, or at least I order a drink. And the guy who's standing right next to me, he didn't look bad. He was a nice sort of roundabout 55-ish, gray hair. And he's like, "Yeah, no, let me get that for you." And I was like, "Cool, great. Beer." And I like saunter on my way upstairs, and there's this black guy who's going upstairs as well. I think it was Congolese. I'm not sure by his accent. Mm-hmm. But as I'm walking up, he like turns around, he looks at me, he says, "Are you looking for someone?" And I'm like, "Yeah, actually I am." And he goes, "Are you looking for me?" And I'm like, "No." And so I walk upstairs, and the first thing that I'm greeted with is these screens with nothing but porn on them, like gay porn on them, and just kind of standing around going like, "Well, that's interesting. I mean, this is the gay district, so I guess this is probably what people do." Except for the next thing that I saw, everything was dimly lit, and you kind of walk around, and everything's painted black. All the hallways are very, very thin, and you hear strange moaning behind every single door. And you're like, "I don't want to be up here anymore." And you sort of back down, and I've got my beer in my hand, and I can't go outside in the street with a damn thing. So the thing that I do is I sit down next to the guy who bought it for me, and I'd start up a conversation. Mm-hmm. And I get a phone call from Scratch. Scratch tells me, no, the guy that we were looking for is back at the place that we were. And I was like, "I can't down this." And the thing is, by this point, we'd been drinking all day, and I was really full of beer. And
so bloated and feeling a little sick from it all.
And I really down it. So I'm busy talking to this guy, and I'm like, and I just tell Scratch, "Look, I'll be there when I can be there." And as I leave, the guy's like, puts his hand on my shoulder, and he's like, "I'll always wait for you."
Oh,
I was like, "This is where I run. Bye."
That reminds me of going to, because on occasion we would go to like Steamworks in town because for like $12 you get to just sit in a hot tub for like 8 hours and it's always pretty cool. Or there's like saunas and steam rooms, and if you're not averse to seeing guys walking around naked, it's not a big deal. You're sort of paying for the ability to just chill in a hot tub for an afternoon. But I remember going once with friends, and we saw one friend sort of sitting on a bench, and then I guess somebody took a liking to him, so he sat down next to him, and it was like a zombie movie. You just saw about 20 people from ages like 30 to 60 slowly lumbering over to him, like a zombie movie where they're like surrounding and ready to take the person. And I just like turned and ran from the steam room because I was like, I'm out of here. He can fend for himself. He'll be fine. But I don't want to be around the zombies right now.
Yeesh.
Crazy times.
Fresh meat.
Exactly. That's what it was like.
My towel has fallen off suspectfully. Like, what the fuck? Okay, bye.
Bye. Have fun with these people.
I'll wait for you in the car.
You're randomly just like running by and you're just like throwing condoms at everything going, I need to be protected.
Just wrapping them around your fingers and head in the hope that you protect yourself from. Yeah. It can be kind of scary. Like, it really depends. I guess it depends on your tolerance for strangeness. Because, like, really going to, like, a gay district anywhere, you're going to see some pretty crazy stuff, even if you're just on the street. So
Fair enough.
Scratch, what was his name?
I have no idea. I can't.
Sister Mary.
Something like that.
Sister
yeah.
Mary.
Yeah.
Yep. Dressed up in a nun's outfit. Possibly sang in a like there's like a gay sort of like sit down and eat place called Beefcakes.
Ooh.
Good food, though.
Yeah. Very, very good food. I think those are still some of the best burgers I've had in ages. One of them being a Rent Boy burger.
Ooh. Well, what is on that? Chicken?
It's no. It's just meat between two tightly fit buns.
That's awful and amazing. That's hilarious.
Yep. I don't think they had any seeds on them either. Oh God, why did I say that?
Christ. Oh. Yeah.
Anyway.
Actually, yeah, Buglish makes a good point. The Montreal sort of gay district area isn't that crazy, but Montreal's like this really weird party town where there are lots of parties, but like it's generally pretty clean. If you want to go to a gay district where you don't have to be worried about anything, the Oklahoma City one was literally like, first it was hard to find. You had to like, there was no sidewalks. You had to duck under a tree, and like it's like really weird. And then when we got there were like 4 buildings. One was a gay cowboy bar, and the rest were all closed because they only open for like 4 hours a day, and they're like, you know, you're
2 o'clock in the morning onwards.
No, more like the people that sell like where you can get rainbow T-shirts or rainbow flags or like just sort of like gay accessories, I guess you could call it. And then there were a couple
Rainbow tint for Facebook.
Exactly. Very popular these days.
Yeah, apparently part of a social experiment, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just a very strange because like there's being gay in Oklahoma is not really accepted, so their gay district was pretty sad.
I love the fact that, like, I mean, it's Oklahoma, which is like the sort of Midwest area kind of thing, and you kind of sit there going like cowboy bar. That's
Cowboy
exactly what I thought I'd want to see.
Yeah, and it was called Phoenix Rising.
No boy.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Wow.
It was awesome.
That's
I'd like to go to that place.
Holy shit, that just came across a really funny picture and it's a little bit relevant. So this whole Facebook thing where people put rainbow stuff on their profiles, right, on their profile pics.
Mm-hmm.
This one dude took that blue or whatnot dress again.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
And he did that rainbow over it and asked, what color is this dress?
Oh, great. Rise from the ashes. Anyway, so how many of those like gay bars would actually allow furry activity aside from the like leather bars with their like sort of acting like a puppy thing?
You have to be careful with that. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
But You know, the thing is, there's a lot of furries who tend to actually go out and wear a collar and those type of things in public.
Certain
But
colors mean certain things.
certain colors mean certain things. Especially if you're not involved in that specific type of sex culture known as the master domination color
Culture.
thing,
Domination. Yeah.
God
Sorry.
damn it.
then you're probably going to get a person that's actually going to ask you, listen, who is your master or whatnot?
Yeah.
Because apparently that happened to one of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well,
You know
fair enough.
what's worse than that is that like the thing is that if you're the kind of person who wears a collar with a leash, and the leash is unattended, that means that anybody can come up to you and
you're
say, "I'm
basically
your
fair
master."
game. Yeah. And that's the thing.
Literally just take you into the back room.
In Toronto, I think like my first experience of going to a bar and being openly furry with a whole bunch of other furries was actually in Guelph, which is a city outside of Toronto by about an hour, and that's where I went to university. And there was a goth bar called The Underground, and it was the only place that really had like the gay positive advertising. There was no real gay bar in the area, but for like a good 3 years, we would go. Some people would come in suit. Some of us would just come with tails, but like it was sort of accepted. Like the furries were part of this little group of misfits that include goths and included, you know, even just like nerds, that kind of thing. It was just like the geek bar basically. But since I moved to Toronto, every gay bar pretty much doesn't really care. They're cool with you if you come in with a tail, with fursuit. But the bar that we do our event at is actually it's not a gay bar. It's just this club. Just sort of like, it's a small bar, but it's called The Cage, and they'll have live music there, they'll have DJs, but it was just that we had a connection. So it became one of the first monthly regular events. And it's like they advertise it through their own advertising as well. It's called Howl. And it's just this thing that's been going on for about a year every month. And I find like most bars, especially gay bars, they really don't have any problems with people wearing suits, wearing ears, wearing tails, because, I mean, you have drag queens in there, and you have people in all leather at like the Black Eagle or anything like that. They're generally pretty cool with it.
Fair enough.
I don't know if people are Facebook friendly, but I could always I'm just going to throw up the link to Howl here if people want to see what like pictures from that look like.
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah. But yeah, I find like and generally in Toronto, I have seen very few problems with people on the streets. There's been a lot of furry walks, furry bowling. There was that music video we shot last year in the Toronto area with a musician. Did I share that with you guys last time?
I am unsure.
I'll just throw it up. I think I mentioned it last time when we were here, but it's a music video with a rock chick, and it's like the theme ended up being about furries escaping from
a hunter.
A bad, hunter. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Then I've seen it. I believe I've seen it.
I'm in that video. I'm the guy in the brown suit, the guy that has the sort of red and yellow halter top and loincloth kind of thing. Mm-hmm. The furry character. That's Farrell's mascot, Pawnee.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
Yep.
Oh, yep. Nice.
Who owns that suit? Is it like Camp Farrell property or?
Yeah, that's owned by Farrell. That was it's very few people on Farrell staff have fursuits, and I've never owned a fursuit. And the only fursuit I've ever really worn is actually a mascot suit, and it's like just Camp Farrell's mascot. But, which is weird, but I've been wearing him more often recently than before. Try to get used to it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, when we go to a bar, or let's say I fucking wear Frankie, most of the people here with us, they don't even know what the hell it's all about. They would think it's Halloween costume.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's not really even that big of a deal, but people are still shy. I think people start getting the idea if you wear furry accessories instead of like a suit. So a suit is actually less frowned upon on, let's say, going into a place like that and just wearing a tail,
Yes.
or wearing ears or something like that, and not a suit. Mainly because then it actually it's not a Halloween costume, so what is it then? Oh, it must be something else that we don't know.
Fair point.
Yeah. But, yeah. I don't know. I'll freaking go to any place. Like I said, next year I'm going to Rage in suit. Or this year, sorry.
Are you going to be here before Rage starts?
Yeah, hopefully.
Epic!
I think I might. Might be up in Rage. I might be at Rage as well.
Interesting thing is that I might actually be getting a job in Poch.
Oh, for real? Why Poch?
Yeah. Because that's the only university that has that position open that is completely and utterly linked to exactly everything I want to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, like
moving
UCT
right
then?
on.
No UCT then?
Hey?
No UCT then?
What?
No UCT then?
It depends on whether it pans out or not.
Oh, fair enough.
In Poch, but then you have to move to that little town.
Yep. Rent's cheaper.
Yeah. Well,
Rent's far cheaper. Wow.
yeah. Well.
But anyway,
it's like
like I
Poch
said,
is a cultural like hub of the country.
Yeah, such a hub of the country, man. The amount of people in there that are like, oh my god.
Stop it.
It's like Stellenbosch during the holidays.
Ugh.
Dead.
Dead as
Dead.
shit.
Very dead. Deader
You
than
are
dead.
dead. Not a big surprise.
Yeah.
Poch and Stellenbosch, but both places reminds me of Hipster Central.
Yeah, I think if Cape Town is like the California of, or at least the Western Cape is sort of like the California of South Africa. And then again, I can't necessarily say the entire Western Cape because Worcester still exists.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think I'm missing a reference. What's this about?
No, we're just
Worcester
like,
is possibly the most backward town that you've ever found in your entire life.
Cool.
So, and the thing is that it exists within the Western Cape. Like Worcester is pretty much like imagine the most conservative town that you've ever thought about, and then times that by about maybe 300 to 400 towns throughout South Africa. Worcester is one of them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Nice.
do you remember you're now also counting Urania?
Yeah.
And
That's-
Urania is just
yeah.
like a racist colony. Like,
It is a
straight up.
racist colony.
Yeah.
Really?
Its monument is a cook sister.
Nice.
So
Somebody, I need an image of that. Sorry.
No.
I'm gonna find this quick.
it sounds like the Alabama of South Africa.
Yeah.
Sort of like,
Alabama is just
They
much
literally-
bigger.
Yeah.
They attempted to secede from South Africa, and they're still there. There it is. Oh my god! It actually looks like it looks a lot worse than an actual cook sister. God, it looks like a sex act.
right.
It really does.
Do you remember Verena is also still a place?
This year, Oranje Monument, people.
Oh dear, what am I looking? Oh, what is that?
That's a cook sister.
Okay, define.
That's one of the national dishes that we have. It's like a very, very sweet.
Yeah, imagine like it's sort
Ready
of like
dish.
sort of like a pretzel that's like twisted in a braid
dipped in-
and then like boiled in sugar.
That looks really good.
It is tasty.
It tastes amazing. But you
Swedish
shouldn't
shit,
use
but
it
tasty.
as a monument because it really looks like a sex act.
It does. It's a very, very sexy dish. I'm sending this to a friend, and I'm gonna see if they will make it for me.
Cook sister. It's just extremely sweet. It's that type of sweet that when you take a bite out of it, your nose starts to burn.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds awesome to me.
Fair enough.
It's Space Pillar, yes. That's a good call, Boogly. moving right along.
Yes.
So we're talking about stereotypes and where furries are allowed, gay clubs we've covered.
But
Anpu wanted to talk about furry aliens.
Yeah, which it's strange. I'm gonna jump right in here quickly and mention that in the pre-conversation before we started up with the show, you were mentioning that aliens are ugly, but I'm in that weird collection of people that thinks that like especially the alien from the movie Alien, I think they're pretty sexy. I think they're very sexy, and they were sort of designed to be that way. Giger was trying to make them like this sort of sexy beast. And I think some people find that kind of stuff gross, but I think that they're pretty cute. But I don't know, maybe I'm weird.
Yeah, but
Oh, darling, expose your second mouth for me.
Exactly.
yeah, but,
Oh my God.
wasn't part of the sort of the psychology behind the aliens like that sort of, I don't know, that weird idea of guys being able to be like impregnated and like sort of the childbirth resulting in death kind of thing. That was part of the like.
Which movie was that? Wasn't that Species?
No, Aliens.
No.
I think that'd
First
be
Alien.
Alien because it sort of impregnates your esophagus and it jumps out your chest.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah, that as well.
that I never
Remembering that
found all
chest
that
burst
attractive.
scene.
I just think the design of the alien is kind of cool looking and very sexy. But like from a aesthetic point of view, just being like that's a very cool looking design for an alien. I don't see them as unattractive.
But the thing is that like if you saw that in a dark alley, you would run, right?
Yeah.
Would you try to come onto it?
I think it really depends on what it was doing. If it was leaning against the wall with a cigarette in its hand, I might go up and chat it up a bit.
Will it be wearing a skirt?
No, it will not be wearing a skirt. It would probably be wearing like a jacket, maybe a denim jacket and
God.
jeans.
Dude, for some reason now I'm seeing like the fucking sharks versus the jets with like the predators and the aliens. Fucking.
Yeah, I'd go chat it up, ask what it was up to. Hey, how you doing? Something like that.
And then it would go.
I'd be like, oh, well.
No, I'm just thinking, why not make a movie that is about an alien invasion, right?
Yeah.
They are now fucking invade. They're not even after our resources. They want to take over our freaking sun. They're so advanced, and they just kill us or try to kill us all, right? But instead of it being like this grey matter aliens or whatnot, it is these cute fucking furries.
Dude, prawns.
Imagine
Prawns are
that.
cute as fuck.
Fucking prawns.
No, they were fucking gross. They weren't furry.
No way,
They-
those things were really cute. With their little
They
clicky
did-
beaks and everything like that.
They
It's
look
so
like
cute.
bugs. I'm talking about like panda bears or something.
I'm trying to think of any movie that was close to that, where like, because like there have been movies where the aliens are like critters. I guess you could almost say they kind of were cute until they started wanting to eat you.
What about Tremors?
Or gremlins.
Gremlins, maybe. I don't. Were gremlins aliens or just some kind of ancient Chinese beast? There's some hideous ones. Like, have you ever seen the original design for E.T. when E.T. was going to be a horror movie? E.T. was terrifying, and they really didn't change it too much. He's still terrifying. There you go, Ewoks. Yeah,
Oh, fair enough.
Rackman has a Ewoks are they can be kind of cute, but I can't see them invading Earth.
No.
Yeah, they're way too primitive.
Wookiees?
I can actually.
Yeah, I can just
that's an
imagine them
excellent
throwing all
setting.
of our appliances at us.
Huh? Throwing appliances.
Like walk into your house, like make a massive mess, and you've already been invaded.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be kind of cool to have like a twist on, because that Arthur C. Clarke movie Childhood's End is about aliens invading, but they look like the devil instead of not being sure how, because they're like very charming and nice, but they look like our image of the devil, so we're not sure how to react to them. But like, it would be interesting to have a twist where the evil aliens attacking us are adorable. And you almost don't want to fight them because they're too cute.
Have you?
Or-
I'm actually going to move on to Devin Townsend very, very quickly.
Oh.
Off of his newest album, there's this thing called The Poozer.
Okay.
Yes. I'll send you guys a picture of it. But yeah, that thing's also pretty damn cute.
Uh-oh.
Train.
A train!
Or a movie that is so twisted up. It's humans invading another planet. The way that the Independence Day style.
Oh, really? That would be
Imagine a movie like that, like the complete reverse of everything.
There is one like that, isn't it? Like a planet full of aliens that gets like there's one guy from Earth.
That is Planet 51 or
yeah,
something like
that.
that, I think.
Yeah, but those things really didn't look that good.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about like an animation. I'm talking about like a real serious movie.
That actually would make a really cool series where like you had like more than just an hour and a half to play with the concept of attacking, like us being the alien invaders.
Oh, Men in Black.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool. Get Barry Levinson to do it. I think we're on this, guys. Somebody make a phone call. We can make it happen.
Hello?
Can we get Tempo in on this? He seems to have like fucking magic fingers when it comes to contacting the right people.
What now?
He was like,
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
always
we
talk
can
to
hear
Tempo.
Oh.
We'll get him to contact somebody and we'll make this movie. I think that would be actually a really interesting concept. Maybe blend it. We're attacked by cute aliens, so our revenge is to go and attack their planet.
there's another one also from the exact same thing called the Planet Smasher, off of like with the same thing with the Poozers. This is the Planet Smasher. It only it hates musicals apparently.
Makes
So
sense.
that's pretty much the entire sort of thing.
Premise.
Really hates musicals.
Sounds like me. I'm not a big musical fan.
Yeah.
There's one or two I could stomach.
Cats.
I haven't seen Cats.
Wicked.
I haven't seen that either.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That one I did see, and that was pretty cool.
People from Fish Paste Mountain.
No, what? No.
It's a good title. It's running. I'll get there. Don't worry.
Good luck, have fun
Really?
with that one.
Sorry. How can you hate? What? Obviously, you can hate musicals. Some musicals are horrifying.
I
mean,
really can't get into the breaking out into song thing. Like, if the whole musical is one long song, I accept it more than if it's like people are talking. They're like, "That reminds me," and you hear the piano go like, "Ding," and they start singing. I hate that.
Yeah, I also
There's a
hate
very,
that.
very good musical, Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along Blog.
That one's pretty fun. Yeah.
That one's awesome.
Oh, it's Neil Patrick Harris in it.
Do you remembers the South Park movie? That was also a
It was a
musical.
musical.
Fair enough, it was a musical.
Mm-hmm.
Almost won an Emmy, I think. Oh, what's his name? Grammy.
South Park.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it was nominated for an Oscar. Yeah.
I'm assuming that it was for the song. Blame
Blame Canada.
Mom was a bitch. That's their best song.
It was Blame Canada was nominated, I think.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Shows the American bias here. Apparently.
I know, right?
I would have thought it was this Carl's Mama's Big Fat Bitches Vegas fictional level. That one should have been nominated for
Or
Grammy.
who are those two apparent Canadian people again?
Terrence and Phillip.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrace and Phillip. That song should have been it. I still remember when we actually recorded it when it was on TV, and like when we were watching it, we realized that the parental filter was on, and that song came through, and you literally
Wow.
couldn't hear a single word.
It's gonna sound like.
Yeah.
There's one song that I always wanted to hear. Actually, it's easy to do it, but just take out all the swear words, and that is Limp Bizkit's "Hot Dog." That song, the first song of the album,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a fucked up world. It's just fucked up the whole time. The song. How would you censor that?
It's like listening
I mean-
to so much
The
hip hop.
directors are very good.
You have to
Sorry.
censor it all. Just saying, like hip hop gets so heavily censored if you listen to it.
Yeah.
I mean, how would it sound? You wouldn't even be able to hear the music.
Well, with hip hop
yeah.
being like as censored as it is, it sounds more like whoever's singing it is just like insecure about the song. Like he
You know,
doesn't really commit
have you
to it.
noticed they've gotten a lot better at like bleeping the words out. So like a lot of the time, depending on the kind of music genre that you're listening to, there's like a random like record scratch whenever they say it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So just imagine what that would sound like.
It's the whole thing.
Mhm.
It's a whoop, whoop.
A good turntablist might make that entire song. All that wiki wiki.
Fair enough.
And it's just all the swear words.
Wiki, 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 wiki.
Turntablism.
And then people are going to also say, if you listen to this in reverse,
Oh, yes.
because probably you'll then be able to hear the stuff.
That's true. They'll do that sort of reverse censor thing where they just kind of reverse the word rather than beep it or
Oh, yeah.
silence it. Yeah. There's Most Def in 2004 or 2005 released an album that was all sort of blues and rock based, and the clean version of the album was better than the explicit version because they had all these really cool ways of censoring it using the sort of samples and stuff, so it actually like sounded cooler.
Nice.
Yeah. Which is rare.
Yeah.
Usually it's better to just get the original version.
Yeah, I know. It speaks to the demographic.
I'm
though.
waiting until
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually like how they always tend to like take rock songs and then play them on random other instruments like ukuleles and whatnot. I'm waiting for them to go as far back as opera. Just imagine like one being sung by an opera singer.
Hmm.
You could, yeah, mixing genres is always pretty cool, so you could always give it a shot.
Yeah, it results in some interesting tunes.
Any questions from the audience for Potoroo?
I'm here.
Ask him about his musical career, by the way. He actually has, not just his musical career, but he actually has a career in music.
Yep. I work with musicians and bands here in Canada, as well as some American ones and international ones, to try to help make them famous.
Ah, noble cause.
Hey, Ninjin is back. Hello, Ninjin. Sorry. Like that was one of our viewers that we picked up from last week, I think. Ninjin just sort of popped in again. I just saw her picture. Very awesome. Sorry.
Rackman, was that the one that was on, if that was the article on Flera? Yeah, I did read it. I was quite disappointed that Fuzzy Notes didn't get mentioned, my podcast on furry music. It upset me. I cried. I ate a lot of ice cream in the corner.
Was it good ice cream?
Drank pumps. No, it's a good article. If that's the one that I'm thinking of, there was an article that was on Flera about furry music.
No, I remember he posted that on the on the fur on ZA-Fur as well. Whenever he like creates something on Flera, he has the good feeling of actually, posting it to us. We kind of read it from there. Which is actually pretty awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm gonna say, check out Fuzzy Notes in there. In 2 years when you do a sort of updated version of that article. Ding ding. But yeah, I'm a big fan of furry music. Unfortunately, since I started my move, I guess sort of in March was when we started getting ready for the move to where we're living now. I totally dropped off the face of the planet with podcasts and stuff. So I haven't been keeping the podcast up, but I'm hoping to get back into it pretty soon because I like featuring furry music and sort of spreading the word. Yeah.
That's awesome. Any sort of, do you organize sort of collaborations between any of them, or is it more just sort of trying to generate publicity? Or
yeah, it's more trying to generate publicity. I either have people submit to me, or I'll like look through FA or different things and collect songs, and then I try to get as much sort of biographical information and stuff as well, so that it's not just song after song after song. I actually talk about the artist a bit. And I think I got up to episode 86, either 82 or 86. And at that point, I'd featured about 150 different artists and 400 songs or so.
nice.
but yeah, it's try to sort of spread the word about the diverse. There's a lot of furry musicians in the world, and because you spend more time, like it's a lot easier to look at art, and it's sort of more acceptable to read a story than to listen to furry music, because most people think, well, what's furry music? I understand furry art, I understand furry writing, but that's why I sort of define it as music by furs rather than furry music, because in a lot of cases the music isn't necessarily furry, it's just they're furry musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that question is Blitz also popped up like a while ago. Like, the hell is furry music exactly?
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess like it's sort of like there's a lot of furry writing that is furry. Whoa, another collapse. There's a lot of furry writing that is it's basically just a normal story, but occasionally it mentions the furry species, but it doesn't really bring into effect the fact that they are furry animals, and they're you know what I mean, they're just sort of adding ears to a regular story. So
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
yay. Yeah. And yeah. And as for where I put my music, my own music I put up on SoundCloud and on Bandcamp, and I'll just link it, but it's Rugoil for either one. And my most recent project has been to do songs based on low-budget films.
Okay.
So yeah, and I call it B-folk music. And it's just been a lot of fun. So like I'll watch and there's a podcast called No Budget Nightmares, and when I do a song based on whatever movie they're reviewing, and then I have they featured at the end of the podcast.
Oh, sweet.
Any upcoming big conventions around your area?
Well, Feral.
Yeah, Feral will be August 20 to 24th, and that's just north of me here. And this year the theme is Feral the 13th Part 2, because we did a Jason theme last time, as in Friday the 13th, in 2010, and since then people have been asking us to do a sequel to it. So we're doing a sequel, and the sort of twist is that Jason has either a friend or a foe, we're not sure yet, who is Slender Moose. And Slender
Moose.
Yeah. So it's like Jason versus Slender Moose.
I can imagine this moose with like these noodly legs.
Yes. Yeah, that's sort of how we're doing it. Noodle eggs.
This is like a completely white moose face.
Yes. White moose face. Yeah, we actually
instead of like just normal antlers, it has this like extendedly really, really long antlers. Who you watched? What was it? Was it The Huntsman, something like that? Where that with Mistress, I only have one expression on my face.
Oh, Snow White and the Huntsman or something like that?
Yes,
yeah,
that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Like those kinds of horns from that deer that's dying in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
Those kinds of horns would be awesome, like black.
We have our guests of honor. One of them this year is Edge, who goes by Edge Destroys on Twitter, and he's just Edge on FA. And he's a big furry horror fan. So like he's come up with his own design for Slender Moose that we're going with, which is kind of a creepy blend of Slender Man and the Mummy. So he's actually got kind of bandages wrapped around.
You have a picture?
Yeah, let's see if I can find it. But this weekend or next weekend, we're working on a Slender Moose head.
Awesome.
Great.
Cool. Yeah,
that's interesting. Anything other than Feral?
Well, I guess AC is coming up. I'm not going to be at this AC, unfortunately, but AC is what, next weekend?
Yeah.
I think it's next weekend. I know a few people going to that. I'm not able to go, but I know a few people going. Maybe one day I haven't been to AC since 2008.
Why did they choose to hold that in the middle of the summer?
I think it's always just been there. I think it's just because that's when they found a time when high school students and university students and adults can generally take free time. And summer summer's just a nice place to have a con because you can go outside and it's not winter, which is like the worst time to hold a con. I'm going to throw Slender Moose up now into the thingy there. But that's Edge's sort of concept for Slender Moose. He's got like tentacle sort of vines growing out of him as well, so I'm cool with that.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's creepy.
I like him.
I like him too. He's pretty creepy though.
I'll check out a little bit.
A con called Summer. We're all going to SummerCon.
SummerCon.
Summer gone. They
Um,
already have summer camp. It's called Camp Feral.
It is.
Potoroo's place. It's basically a summer camp for those
It is a
who don't
summer
know,
camp.
for
Yeah.
furries.
Summer camp for furries. That's what we've always like. There are some camping cons where it's actually out in tents, but we're more of a summer camp.
That's intense.
God, fuck.
I'm trying to think of other cons coming up because the other one in our area is Vernal Equinox, and that was a little while back. Oh dear. Oh, somebody just posted a picture of me with my accordion.
You play the accordion?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, the Canadian version of Weird Al Yankovic.
Yep.
Weird Al did well for himself
What-
recently.
What is so interesting just above your head?
Oh. Why am I looking up? I think they
Yeah.
were asked. The person who was taking the picture was asking me to like look dramatic or something like that, and that's how I interpreted it at the time. What a horrible picture. Anyways.
Looks great.
Yay! Yeah, Buglish asked if I sing solo or in a band. Generally solo now, but I started in a band a long time ago, and if you're curious, I have my high school band's music online. .bandcamp.com. I can link that too. High school band.
We never really had anything like that in high school, like marching bands or stuff like that.
Band.
Yeah,
Marching band.
Marching band, yeah.
we never really had anything like that. It's like anyone who wanted to be in a band was like in a garage band. That was very prevalent in the northern suburbs. Like, damn. Every one of their cousins in a freaking band.
I had like two bands because there was the other one that was just me and one friend, and then the two of us wanted to start playing our music live. We had used like a 4-track recorder, so we just layer over top so we could get multiple tracks of stuff. We wanted to play live and realized that the two of us couldn't play like 4 instruments simultaneously. So we started up a band, and that was what Brillohead is, which originally was started to play the other band's music, but very quickly we realized that we made better music as a band than we did when it was the two of us, because when it was the two of us, all our music was ridiculously like disturbing and kind of like Ween. Like it was just like two guys get together and make creepy music.
Nice.
Most music live, the issue with it is when you're listening to an album and you're listening to like a guitar, let's say you're listening to the lead guitar, you have to understand that in the recording process, that lead guitar is probably 4 layers of audio
Yes.
that is on top of each other. Now, to do that live is practically impossible, but there are tricks and techniques that get used by just extracting certain harmonics out for the
Yes.
one layer and certain harmonics out for the other layer. And then you actually get that kind of multi-session guitar sound.
And there's a reason why most guitar players, when they play live, they have a like sea of like 40 pedals in front of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, those pedals are what give them the sound to kind of match what it sounded like in the studio.
In the studio. Yeah, and that is actually and all this stuff. Yeah, but I've seen that stuff fail so many times, especially when it's people as custom units, because then they will put like all these pedals and stuff in like a case, right?
Yeah.
Freaking live show setup, and then that thing doesn't work. Then it's like a disconnection, and then that guy has to like go through that whole fucking system to get it right.
Yep.
Stories. The stories of muses' lives.
I'm going to do a quick thing, even though you guys maybe do this all the time. So I just found out Kane, who is there, is a deer. So I want to just tell you my quick deer story. There was a furry who did not have a species, who came to Feral for like 2 or 3 years, but he was sort of Generifer. He hadn't like settled on anything. So one day when he was visiting, he asked me what I thought his species would be, because he had sort of decided. He was like, I think I know what species I want, but I want to hear your opinion. And like at this point in my life, I had yet to meet a single deer fur. I wouldn't even really think of a fur being a deer. You just think of the traditional ones and then the really weird ones. You know, normally I would be more likely to choose something like Dick or Echidna before I'd think of like a deer. But I looked at him and I was like, I think you're a deer. And he said, why do you think that? I'm like, because you're always traveling, and whenever something catches you off guard, you just stand still and stare because you're like confused. And he just looked at me and was like, that I was thinking deer too for those exact same reasons. I'm like, crazy. So I'm curious. I see there's somebody, is that Kin? The name, the other people in the chat, Kiln, or then there's Buglish and stuff. What other species are there?
His name is Kinkinzade.
Kinkinzade. So
Yeah.
Kinkinzade, Buglish, Victor, all of you, if you're still listening, what species are you? Because I want to get a little study. This is my study time. I don't even know if they're listening anymore. Guys, come on.
No, they're all
And I'll
listening.
it just takes a while for these guys to reply because they hear the stream a little bit later, and then sometimes they just don't reply anyways.
Ligerwolf. Wow, that's like Ligerwolf is like a mashup with a mashup in it. So is Feline Tor. That's so interesting. And a Bengal tiger. I see that there's one pureblood.
Yeah, I'm still wolf.
Tri-hybrid. I like tri-hybrid. I'm a hybrid myself, but I'm not a tri-hybrid.
A bat and...
A gargoyle and kangaroo, a rugoyle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Bats.
It's okay. No, I have no problem with that. I also sometimes say I'm a Jersey Devil. If you've ever seen what it's like an American sort of cryptozoologic creature. Only because the original representation of a Jersey Devil, when they tried to tour them around and say they existed, was a kangaroo with fake gargoyle wings on its back. So I'm like,
Holy crap, that thing's creepy.
I love the Jersey Devil.
Well, I don't know.
Raquin,
The one that I have is pretty awesome.
what is it? Growlithe or Growlithe? Growlithe?
Yeah, like the Pokemon.
Oh,
It's
it's a Pokemon. That's right. Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry. How do you pronounce that name too? Is it Raquin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Raquin.
Cool. See, I was just a little too old for Pokemon, but I have enough friends who are younger that kind of introduced me to Pokemon that I figured it out. So
I'm that exact age where I should have been like a massive fan. When I was in high school, everybody was watching it. And then everybody turned to Dragon Ball Z.
I have no idea, but like when Raquin just like posted out a sort of a general like this is how you pronounce it thing, and I'm just like immediately thinking of Poker Face. Rah rah Raquin.
Just gotta leave the chat now. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Don't ever sing my name in anything that Lady Gaga made, please.
I don't think. Look, it doesn't fit well.
Cuddle Wolf is a wolf-deer hybrid. So so we have 2 deer?
Yeah.
Well, 2 deer sort of represented.
Seems like
That's crazy.
Would you actually like if you're a wolf deer hybrid, do you consider yourself an omnivore?
That's a good question. I assume most furries would think of themselves just as a carnivore because I think it's supposed to be cooler. It's not very cool to be a herbivore, I've found.
Speaking of which, we actually have a little one of the like sort of thread strains on South-Afrifur called Predator and Prey. So generally, what you do is that you post something and you're either a predator or prey, and then the person has to say predator or prey, and they have to give you a reason as to why.
Interesting. Well, we have a game called Predator and Prey at Feral.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, you told us that's like tag.
Yeah, it's like tag, except you have carnivores, omnivores, and herbivores, and then at the end you have a hunter come out to try to shoot people, and while you're trying to avoid carnivores, you're also trying to avoid fire and Mack
Anybody
trucks.
that is nuts enough to do that in suit?
Yeah, some people do. There's one guy in a dragon suit, but he's like military, so like it's not probably too difficult for him to pull it off. But yeah, there are some people that do it in suit. We have a video somewhere where we got one of our fastest guys and put a GoPro on his forehead and had him chase people down. I want to release the whole video is like an hour and 10 minutes long, and I just wanted to put the whole thing up unedited, but somebody suggested we should edit it down. I don't know. I think I should just put it up if somebody's crazy enough to watch the whole thing. And no, people don't. Well, people get injured at Feral, but nobody gets like everybody bounces. Like, it's one of those weird things where like people will like get a pretty bad bump or a scrape, but it doesn't slow anybody down.
No.
Yeah.
At hotel cons, I find I don't want to like bash hotel cons, but I find if somebody slips on a floor, it's like the end of their con experience. Where at Feral, if somebody like runs right into the side of a tree and scrapes up their face, they just get back up and keep running.
But that's something that I always kind of think is sometimes it's like people are very much more sensitive when they're in like a hotel environment or
Yes.
something. I don't know what the fuck is the story there. Oh no, I slipped on this little piece of water there and I just strained my hamstring and everything is bad and now this whole con is ruined and I'm going to write this big complaint because there wasn't a wet floor sign and because a dude just spilled like a little bit of his drink right there on the floor.
I knock on wood, but like when we get complaints, mostly complaints we get are about the weather, which is like obviously out of our control. But like if somebody like wipes out and hurts themselves, it never seems to show up in like the exit form or like any surveys. People it doesn't bother them that much. And I think it might be the fresh air or just sort of being energized by being out in the sun and stuff like that.
You know what I think that is?
Mm.
I think it's just hashtag Canada.
It might be hashtag Canada.
No, what's actually funny is like the amount of times that I have wiped out at meets. They're actually quite intense. Like I mean, and that's just the nature of who I am. There was one point that I think it was me. Actually, both of them involve him. Doge, one of our sort of resident furs. The first time around, we were in a place, I think it was North Riding with Victor, and the two of us decided to play run at each other chicken. And the thing is that I was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, the thing is that he's coming at me and I'm coming at him, and I'm like, I don't really want to hurt you. And I pull up like really, really early, and in doing so, he ran right at me and like really got me to sort of move backwards. And like literally what had happened is that the impact was of such a great intensity that my glasses had literally sort of floated as in the position that I was at before I got hit. I just fell down directly there. It was weird.
It's like a cartoon almost. Yeah, Colin.
Exactly.
Well, wearing Frankie last, go on with the story.
No, I mean the second time around, I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna call. We actually have a video of it. Raven actually took the video, and literally it was pretty much the same thing, except this time around he was standing still. So I took a really, really large like running start. I like made a big thing about taking all of my like valuables and things off, glasses included. You know, my jacket was off, everything was off. And I run at him, and he literally just goes sidestep. And I'm like, crap, I need to stop. And the grass was wet, and I was just like, donk.
Well, wearing Frankie last night, I walked into a couple of chairs at the bar. Jeez, dude, I really actually did injure myself. I still feel it.
I could just imagine you coming home and like I don't know for some reason like somebody like you take off your shirt all you see is all these bruises in your upper hip area. Then people ask you like, "What did you do last night?"
No, I was drunk. That is what I
Well,
did.
there we go.
R&Rs, never again.
You keep saying that, and I really think that you stopped realizing what that means.
Yeah, that everybody says that after they've had too much to drink, and then they just go drinking again. So
Seems we disconnected.
Well, I'm drinking beer. The last of my beers at the moment. No. It's just that drink is a little bit too strong, and it's not meant for the winter. It's meant for like Mozambique on the beach.
Yeah, it seems we disconnected just now, guys, but
Yeah.
we are back on. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
we're back.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. I'm the Canadian, so I have to do this. Sorry, guys.
No, I'm pretty sure they're damn used to it by now.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry.
You have to put that lilt on the O. Sorry.
Sorry.
Eh,
Sorry about that.
eh.
Last time
me.
we chatted, you really actually said that is a real attitude in Canada, like that
Yes.
kind of.
Yeah. People say sorry all the time. People do. Now we do say a boot, but we don't actually say a boot with that ooh. It's that we don't have the lilt part of about. We kind of skip the part, so we say about, and it comes out sound like a boot. Yeah, but yeah, the sorry thing is pretty accurate. Like I've apologized to people because I reached to open a door for them, and maybe we both reached at the same time, or like.
Oh, we do that as well. It's not just Canada.
Yeah, it's just like
That
hyper apologizing.
No, I'm just thinking all the memes and stuff that is going around and wondering if it's like really that bad.
It is pretty bad. I think I don't know whether we do it more than any particular other country or whether everybody kind of does, but we've gotten the reputation for doing it, but we're pretty bad for it. Like I think I told you the story last time I was here that I apologized to somebody because they spat on me.
Wow.
They spat on me, and I turned to them and said, I'm sorry.
That won't happen.
It was accidental. Like, they accidentally spat on me, but I apologized to them, and I still, honestly, like, psychologically, I don't know what I was thinking. I think it was just the Canadian in me said, you should probably apologize.
If there's one thing that I do know a little bit on a different topic is that we're struggling always, and people are always complaining about the internet connection here.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed the worst place in the world is Australia.
Oh, really?
With internet connection, internet connectivity. Geez, dude, apparently those guys have so much latency on their lines, they can't do online gaming, they can't do anything.
Oh,
Fair enough.
we just lost someone. Oh, no. Hello. Yeah, like our internet connections are good. It's just they're expensive.
Yeah, our mobile data is very expensive.
Yeah, same here. Mobile data is ridiculous here.
Hi, back.
Yay,
Welcome.
hello.
Talking of mobile data.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks. No, look, I actually don't know what happened there. My Skype decided to say, "Hey, no, you're not allowed to talk." Okay. So I decided I'd figure it out first and then see what happened. Generally, I just reset it, so I think it's working now.
Yeah, and we'll probably for the South-Afrifur con that is gonna happen next year, around about this time, July. It's actually now almost exactly a year.
Mhm.
We're gonna keep you guys updated about that on the site, and maybe get the stuff that we wanted.
Actually,
that-
you know what? We can actually talk about that quickly. In
Alright.
respect to where we're going with it now. I mean, like I do actually have things that I can update with for once. I mean, for starters, the NPO is getting up and running. Yukon started working on that this week. He's already registered our name. We have a registered website for it as well. Above and beyond that, we're also looking at a whole bunch of other workable solutions in respect to payments. I've also started contacting a couple of people in respect to donations from outside, if people want to donate or not. Above and beyond that, we actually do now have a directorate, which is funny because you don't necessarily expect directorates and this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But in respect to that, I mean, Valerian's on the directorate, myself obviously as well, Scratch, Unpoo, I'm still not necessarily sure whether you really want to be on the director or not. It's one of the things I wanted to talk about.
I think you're roboting a little bit.
You're roboting again, and it's pretty funny.
Breathing.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, Unpoo's out for some
yeah.
reason. I'll try and get him back in.
That's really weird.
Yeah. Who's still there, by the way?
I just fixed it.
Yeah, well, you're back now.
You're back now. You're good.
I'm back down. Yay! Okay, cool.
Why?
How long was I roboting for?
No.
Just that last sentence.
Why?
It just took forever to go.
Why can I not add him?
Yeah, last week it was the CIA that was censoring us. Now I'm being censored by Nkantla.
Oh, that's not very nice.
Well, I mean, Nkantla isn't necessarily very nice either.
Yeah, that was bullshit. I'm gonna be straight up. That was bullshit. Ah, you're back.
But yeah,
Sorry.
so there
I
are
dropped.
actually some things that we're getting along with. Things that are moving along quite well. I'm hoping to be able to have the website up by the end of July, as well as the setup for the NPO.
Oh.
So yeah, those are the updates for that. Above and beyond that,
I missed it.
Lol.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of that stuff happening. I will try to keep you guys up to date as much as possible. I'll probably put an update on the South-Afrifur site tomorrow, in respect to what I've been telling you guys now, and there will be a lot less uhs in them, unless I actually do that in the type just to be funny about it. Then again, nobody really would get that because we only. Oh wow! Did we lose like the half of everybody who's actually listening?
Really? How did we
It
manage
looks
that?
like.
Yeah.
How the hell
There's
did we manage
6 or so.
Yeah, we had like 10, 12 last time I checked. Oh well. Anyway,
How many South Africans have fursuits?
from what I've seen, about 5 to 7.
Yeah, not a lot.
Pretty much the general average of how many people have fursuits in general, like 5 out of every 50, I guess, something along the lines of that.
Oh. I'm just considering, seeing that we are doing this convention thing. It would be nice to see a couple of fursuiters there.
Well, I mean, like Sticky Fingers will probably be coming. I saw you and him had a little picture of. Who else? There's Foxlight.
Yeah,
From
Foxlight.
KZN.
Umi
I
might be
know
there.
EC actually has her own. Umi has his. Kane actually. What am I talking about, Kane? Sorry, Kane. Yote actually fursuited yesterday at Geek Fest. He had his head on.
Cool.
And he was wearing a short sleeve shirt with gloves, and I was sitting there going dude, seriously.
That must be cool.
Partial with gloves, but no long sleeve shirt. I was like, you're molting. Yeah. So I mean, we do have a couple of people who've got fursuits. I know that hopefully, if I can get Yotes to work on a whole bunch of stuff, he's making tails for a lot of people at around about 400 and something rand,
Oh, cool.
depending on how much he's actually doing it for. So those of you who want to know, remember Yote? He was actually one of our first guests, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Yote Fox, fursuit creator. And then, of course, what's her name? Nixie.
Oh yeah, of course.
But she's Actively inactive, I think, would probably be the term for it.
Does Raven have one?
Who?
Raven?
Raven has a tail.
Oh, okay.
And Dyer actually has one as well. It's just that it's getting a bit threadbare.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh crap!
Got a
We've
friend
lost.
in Canada, oddly enough.
We've lost connection again.
With a group.
Yeah. I think someone must be downloading something or something. I don't know. God, come on, connect. You stupid little shit. Dropped a lot of frames. Well, not a lot, just 88, but yeah, that's gonna skyrocket now.
Technical issue, BRB.
Yeah, not like anyone can hear us now. I think sort of just type in the chat. We might as well just call it a night because.
Yeah, I just did that.
Okay.
Well, not closing the night, but
Typing in chat. Come on.
Speaking of something interesting in respect to our podcast, actually, I was speaking to a guy who actually thinks that our logo, as it is, could be a really cool loading logo.
Oh, can actually.
Nice. Yeah.
Around. It's actually pretty awesome. We should do that.
Yeah.
Okay, now we lost the
Oh,
time.
and then it's animate and turn the what's its name, the outside things.
Yeah, now we're losing a lot of frames. It's not
Okay.
reconnecting.
I think let's call it.
Yeah. To anyone listening on this, like
Yeah.
on YouTube, whenever it comes up, apologies.
Yeah.
But
Sorry
so I'm just gonna
about
stop the stream. Can you guys just send the word out?
Oh.
It's like a bitch in heat. Okay. Great. Now I've got to remember these people's names.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop the stream.
Enter
Okay?
that for now.
Stopping recording in 3, 2, 1.
Okay.